Hello, I could take it if we have good lighting. 27th of April 2023, 8:14 p.m. Oh, good writing. I did a video an hour ago, hasn't rubbed off yet. Okay, so I have some afterthoughts about Metallica 72 Seasons, and in the video that I did about it, the previous one, I said how do I think that 72 Seasons should become embedded, should become part of society. Well, no, but the inevitable will happen. And the inevitable, well, when I mean a part of society, what do I actually mean by that? I've been thinking about this, which is why I'm making this video. Which is why I'm making this video. And that previous video is still with me. What do I mean by that? Well, I just mean someone who, there's going to be a bunch of people, there's going to be a whole lot of people who purchase 72 Seasons or who listen to it, who stream it on YouTube. And so what do I mean by society? Well, I just mean people in general, fans who will purchase the album, who will listen to the album, who will go out of their way to listen to the album. They're going to do that. They're going to get to know the songs. And you know, chilling out in their bedroom, relaxing in their bedroom, sitting in the lounge chair, driving in their car, listening to it while they're driving. And I think all sorts of ways, like people are going to consume, digest. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to indulge in this album. And just because I don't want to, I know that other people will. And I would say since it's been released, people, fans, who are interested in listening to it have had, it been more than a week now, hasn't it? It was, I think, was it April 7? So it was about 2 weeks ago now. And people who are listening to the album, fans who are listening to the album, have been able to give it many spins, whether it's been relaxing in their lounge room, or listening to it on open speaker, or with the headphones on, with the Audio-Technica headphones, or Biodynamic headphones, or these ones, which are I'm using at the moment, my Apple earbuds. These are really good. These are just as good as they're just as good as the Audio-Technica and the Biodynamic. I digress. I do digress. Now, people are going to listen to this album. They're going to listen to this album with friends, especially young people. They're going to have their friends over. They'll have an open speaker, or they'll have their earphones in. People are getting to know this album. That's just inevitable. When I say will it become embedded within society, that's what I mean, because when I say will it become a part of society, that's a rather broad term. And I was thinking to myself, Pat, what do I mean by that? I know what I mean by that. I just mean the common person, many people, I'm going to try to say is this, many people around the world, I think this is an international thing, many people around the world are going to listen to this album in a variety of ways, and they're going to get used to this album, they're going to get used to the songs on it. I think it's irrelevant. I think this album is irrelevant. The last two albums haven't been anything. And there's a lot of people out there, who praise, who think that Hardwired is a great album. Okay, sure. And also, the thing is, it's not a double-edged sword, but it's music is a matter of perspective. It is a matter of perspective, and music is subjective. Music is actually subjective, and everyone is on a different musical journey. and I choose not to listen to this album because I don't want to. I don't want to get to know those songs, and I think it's the end of the road for Metallica. However, other people, other people, many other people have a different perspective on that, and they're going to indulge in it and get to know it and enjoy it. I know that they are. I don't want to, but they will. And I suppose I think I suppose in the broader term of things, I think, oh, is it going to be blasting from every loudspeaker on every corner and through every car radio on every corner? No. Oh, maybe in certain parts, yes, but generally, no. People have their earphones. This is not the days of the ghetto blaster, where people carried the ghetto blaster around on their shoulders in the 80s. Darkness has a soul. If darkness has a soul. No. But people will stream this album. People are going to play it through their iPods. And so therefore it will become in a way embedded in culture to a degree, to a certain degree, and you know, and people will give this album a swing for a while, and then at some point overnight they might just think, oh, I've had enough of it. I don't need to listen to it anymore. I've had enough. And also I said that the one positive thing that might come out of this is that people will decide to go to the Metallica back catalogue. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, over the last couple of nights I went back to Master of Puppets, the album. I don't gel with Master of Puppets much these days, and for some reason I thought I kind of wanted to give this album more of a go. I was kind of curious about it because back in the day when I was 15 years old, I got it on vinyl when I was about 15 years old, and I played it over and over and over and over again. And these days I don't really connect to it that much. I sort of have an association with it. I It's an interesting album. It's an interesting album. I don't really connect with it that much these days. I can appreciate it though. Saint Anger for me. Saint Anger is the jewel. Saint Anger is my favourite Metallica album. And the Black Album, I can sometimes listen to the Black Album. Load and Reload, interesting. I mean, that's the only word I can think of to use. Load and Reload. Don't really visit them. I don't visit them that much. I go to Saint Anger. That's where I go. I go to Saint Anger. And Kill 'Em All. Kill 'Em All is great. It's a good album. And Ride the Lightning, once again, interesting. I think Ride the Lightning is a bit more interesting than Master of Puppets. But in regard of 72 Seasons, yes, people are listening to it. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to hear it. I want to disconnect myself completely. I'm not going there in the first place. And from the songs that I've heard with Darkness had a sun, and I thought the chorus part was, I thought, yeah, it was okay. Yeah, but when I said about society and will 72 Seasons become embedded, ingrained in to society to a degree. To a degree, it will. To a degree, it's like if Aerosmith put out is a new Aerosmith album relevant? Not really. People just want the classics. If they do an album, everyone will say that's nice. What did they put out? What was the last one they put out? I could Google it quickly if I wanted to, I suppose. I can't really remember what it was. I haven't heard it either. But if Aerosmith put out an album tomorrow, That'd be terrific. That'd be nice. But then people want the classics. They want the classics. And they want the first Aerosmith album, and they want Get Your Wings, and they want was it Pump and Permanent Vacation, and they want I'm trying to think of an Aerosmith album apart from Get Your Wings. Aerosmith rocks. Toys in the Attic. I like Toys in the Attic. Good album, but would a new Aerosmith album be relevant? Not overly. Is a new Anthrax album relevant? No. And the new Anthrax album is not relevant because Scott Ian said, you know what? When they cure COVID, when COVID's over, then we'll bring the album out. I'm thinking, well, hang on. Why don't you do the album now and bring it out during COVID? Why don't you just bring it out? Why don't you bring it out now? I don't like Scott Ian very much. Oh, his interviews are mildly interesting, but they're Anthrax should have brought their new album out 18 months ago, and it's now becoming irrelevant for them to bring an album out. What was it? Worship Music. Yeah, it was okay. And what was the other one? It was something For All Kings. I enjoyed them at the time. It took me a long time to get into them. Don't think I could go back to them. And Slayer, Repentless. No, can't even go. I can't even get past the first song, the second song. I don't relate to it. I don't connect to it in any way. No, ridiculous. What was before Repentless? Oh, I don't know what was before Repentless. I really liked Diabolus though, and well, I could mention obvious things like Rain in Blood, um, South of Heaven with lead drums by Lombardo. I can't think of what was before Repentless. They had one. I'm not gonna look it up. So, albums coming out. Oh, and the new Guns N' Roses album. Irrelevant. Irrelevant because Steven Adler and Matt Storm won't ever be a part of it because Axl doesn't get along with either of them, and he will refuse to bring them in the fold. And he's loyal to Frank Ferrer, who I can't stand. Frank Ferrer cannot. Frank Ferrer can hold a beat. He can do that. He can manage to hold a beat, but that's it. Never been a fan of Frank Ferrer. Only just a fan of Richard Fortus, who took me a long time to get used to him. Long time to get used to him. But this is about 72 seasons. I don't want to be off track, but so yes, 72 seasons. Yeah, people are going to listen to it. Yeah, people are probably going to enjoy it. What's its longevity? Don't know. Don't know. But it's there. It's there. Some people will refuse to listen to it. Some people are going to like it. I'm in that camp. I want to hear it. I want to hear the album in its entirety. I'm not interested. And I just wanted to say that about things. I just wanted to sort of say what I meant about society in a broader term. Just in a broader term. Because, when I say society, is every single person at the moment in society listening to 72 seasons? No. But a certain percentage are in a certain capacity, in a certain way. And they are. Okay, I'm literally in shortcut. I'm in shortcut. I've wrapped this up, and I'm thinking, okay, so today's generation, today's young generation, I don't know what they're called. It's Generation Z. I'm Generation X. The kids, the teenagers of today's teenagers. Now, in 30 years' time, in 30 years' time, um, in 30 years' time, today's generation can look back and say, oh, now I remember the good old days of 2023, and I remember when 72 seasons came out. Do you remember when that came out? Oh, how good was that? And do you remember Generation X? the die-hard fans, all the older fans of Generation X. Remember how they complained about it and they said, "Oh, it's no good. It's a dead at the end of the road." Remember that and how weird that was to us, and how good 72 seasons actually was, and how good 72 seasons actually was. Is 72 seasons ever going to be nostalgic? No, no, it's not. It's never going to be, unless people do, unless people start having memories with it, to it, for it. Um, they start being able to associate it with different events in their life, and someone play 72 seasons on while they're studying, working, doing something. Uh, Actually, when I listen to albums, I can't be doing anything else. I just listen to the album. I never do. I never listen to albums to housework. Uh, I, 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 I I will listen to albums while I'm writing my feature script. I will do that, which I need to get onto, which I should be getting onto tonight. Now, and the whole thing about new music coming out is people just don't have memories to it. They don't have memories to it. Like people can say, oh, toys in the attic. Yeah, I remember driving around in my Chevy with that, and I had my girl in the car with me, and we cruised and all that. What I'm saying is that the older albums of yesteryear in the 70s, people have memories of that. Many different memories. Family, friends, everything. They've got associations at a different time and a different place. And so people, the older albums, obviously, yes, they have a flavour and a taste to them of that era. Uh, and those albums are popular culture. Not a part of, they are popular culture. The 72 seasons, even a new Anthrax album, no, it'll never be nostalgic. And no, if, okay, if a new Guns N' Roses had come out in 2001, but wouldn't it come out? It should. Oh, this is a whole. I need to make a different video about this, but what very quickly is that Axl Rose should have brought his first solo album out in 1997, and then another and the next Axl solo album should have come out in about 2000 or 1999 2000, and the next one in 2002, because he had it there, had all the material. Because Courtney Love said she spent a week hanging out with him. She was hanging out with him for a while, and he played her all the songs, a lot of new songs, and she said it was material was wonderful. It was terrific. 2008 was really, in retrospect now, 2008 was way too late for Chinese Democracy to come out. Way too late for it to come out. And okay, one of the scenarios of what should have happened was in 2015, when not in this lifetime tour started again, when they were going to start it back up with Slash and Duff, with Axl reunited with Slash and Duff. They reunited 6 months later, album. That's what should have happened. No reason why it shouldn't have happened. But I'm going to do a separate video on that, because I've got a few scenarios. Yes, that's right. So I'm just putting this in here. 72 seasons is never going to be nostalgic. No. And maybe somehow, for the younger generation now, in 30 years' time, maybe somehow will be. But no, every generation says that, though. There'll never be another time like the 70s or the 80s. Or the 90s. Going into the early zeros, but really the flavour of the 70s, the 80s and the 90s. Yes. Okay, I'm going to slice this in somewhere. I'm going to slice this in toward the end of this footage. I'll just put it in just before the end. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up. I just wanted to say that. Midnight Charlie, man, Patrick, thank you for listening. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'll probably make a new video soon. Alright, I'll wrap this up then. Okay, thanks.